Yo everyone and welcome to the Pro League. Just doing a weekly catch up for you today. Nothing too serious, no matches going on, Karen, unfortunately. We're just going over what's happened in the last couple of weeks, give everyone an update on the stats. We've got Titchin.
What's going on?
And we've got Venny.
Hello. That's the wrong hand.
It's the wrong hand, it's the wrong hand.
Wrong hand.
So yeah, we're just going to go through, have a look, basically go through stats from last week, where everyone is in the current standings, go through any roster changes because there are a few teams that have added some players on, what we've got coming up this week, what matches are being played, so obviously something just to keep an eye out for. And then from there, we're just going to do that for each of the four divisions. So we've got the EU Elite, EU Tactical, Strategic, and then the NA Elite as well. Cheers, Karen. Thank you very much. Yeah, we was really happy to hit affiliate.
Yeah, this is something we're wanting to do on a weekly basis if we can as well. Get a bit of engagement about what's happening around the league because people move teams all the time.
Yeah,
and it's hard to keep track, so should be good.
I can tell you who's never switching teams. Ours, my guys. We will not go to anybody else.
I don't know if that says anything about your team and their loyalty to you, or other teams and their barrier of entry.
It's our our loyalty to each other.
Yeah, we'll call it that. We'll call it that.
We'll go with that one. Yeah, so hot topic. If anybody saw the match, I had the privilege of watching casting Venny's match yesterday. By far the best match of the week. We have quite a close combat scenario. Cheers, Venny. I'll see you now.
I heard a little bit about this match.
We have.
You tell me.
You know, Dread's in the chat. We have some great banter between Venny, myself, and Dread, just on who's going to win, who's going to end up top, and that ended up being 7-1 with 5 aces. Is that right?
Was that for Venny's team?
No,
something like
that. Dread kicked.
Oh, he lost.
Dread,
that's what I heard. Yeah, that's what I heard.
You know, there's loads of games get played. I don't remember specific ones.
Yeah, that's one you want to forget. That's for sure.
Yeah, nothing went well. It just was one of them nights where a couple of things go wrong, and then you overcompensate trying to correct the shit. And easy to forget, Dread.
Easy to forget.
And then it just gets worse.
Be nice to Venny. I refuse to be nice. So for anybody over on my side here, over on Twitch, I am live currently just to kind of get the notifications out there. If you're watching, be sure you are following Pro League Gaming, as this is probably where we're going to be doing it going forward. So for anybody watching now and later on, be sure to follow Pro League _gaming, because that's kind of where we'll be doing the recaps, and I'll be joining them when I can.
I've just loaded up your chat as well, so we'll keep an eye on that as we go through. Right, okay, so now we've given Venny his daily slating because it was needed. Dread, you're in the chat actually. So you had, if I'm correct, this was a new team that you put in toward the end of last season. Just correct me if I'm wrong now, but I'm pretty sure when we played last, you played with a whole new squad of guys. So you've been in trading a lot in between the seasons, so obviously that's worked pretty well. Just make sure you bring a different team when I play you. Cheers,
hold on, I gotta find some Google Translate here. 1 second there, Ray.
Is this in your chat?
It is.
Yeah.
It is the Pro League.
Is this Pro League? Yes, it is Pro League.
Yeah, so Amateur Hour Commentary and the Pro League, we are partnered in what we do for the league. AHC do a serious amount, more than anything anyone can see in the front. They help us a lot back end, from everything from setting up the streams to everything. Titch is a magician. Don't let him tell you otherwise.
I don't know about that, but Sean. So Sean and I do a lot of stuff on the back end for the streams together. He's a wizard blender. Honestly, I don't think the AHC set in the whole world would, as bare bones and as terrible as it looks now, I don't think it would look anywhere near as good if you hadn't have been like, yo, here, let me show you some stuff.
Play well off each other. We learn off each other's strengths, which is pretty good. Same again next week. Don't bring the same squad next week, honestly.
Yeah, so this has become like a kind of a slating for me and a loving for YouTube. This is not quite how we planned this out at all, but
okay.
never mind.
This is exactly how we planned this out.
Let's jump on then. Let's go through and have a look at the elite stats. Venny, I'll let you take the lead on going through what we've got on this side.
Yeah, so we're putting the table up first, yeah. So this is everyone has only played 2 games. We are in week 3, so there could have been additional games played, but this is quite nice and tidy. So we've got Black Mamba taking the lead there, just edging Area 51 out by an ace. It's interesting. Every season, the elite division comes down to a few aces right at the end. Every season, it's always quite close, isn't it? Between like first, second, and third.
It really is.
Stat had a bit of a rough start there, which is unexpected for them because they're a very good squad.
I haven't looked yet. I want to see who they played. To be fair,
yeah, that changes stuff, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. You put any team against network error, and you might as well just forfeit.
Yeah, but I'm noticing here we got Black Mamba, Area 51, network error, Blackhawk. Where's Life's a Beach? Oh, down there in 7th. Oh, okay. Sorry, Brittany and Mike, if you're watching this. Sorry, I had to scroll down.
To be fair, they're doing really well. They've just we'll go through in a minute. They have recruited a new player for the remainder of the league. So we'll go through. We'll show you who we've got on that side of it. Just loading up now. So we were saying about stats. So their first match of this season was against Area 51. They unfortunately that one they lost. It was similar to yours, man. They lost 7-1, but they didn't concede any aces. So to lose 7-1 and not concede an ace, they must have put up a good fight. It must have been pretty close.
Yeah, but I would say that's a good win for Area 51 to get. It was Area 51, you said, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that was a good win for them to take 7 games against Life's a Beach, definitely.
And then straight after that against Blackhawk, which we know are a good team as well. So yeah, some pretty good ones there.
I guess we'll get to the rosters here at some point, but I know probably a good number of players on half of these teams. Is there anybody give me a quick rundown of Blackhawk?
Blackhawk, I'll get their roster.
You'll know most of those. So league roster, Blackhawk, we have got in there Tubu, 69, Nightmare, Madrak, Tanio, Yearman, and Dim Forza. They've got a solid lineup.
Yeah.
They really have. Absolutely solid.
But they're one of the teams that came up, didn't they? So Blackhawk, Black Mamba, Assassinos, was that the 3 that came up? Oh, New School, what New School already there?
Oh, now you put me on the spot there. I can find that out.
No, so it's the 4 that's gone up, I think. So yeah,
because you guys changed it because it was the amount of teams or something like that this time, isn't there?
Yeah, so we always promote 3,
Black
but
Mamba,
depending on how it works.
New School, they came up.
Yeah, so they're putting in good results.
So who got relegated last season?
They didn't, but some teams kind of disbanded. Right.
And
that's what kind of changed things up a bit.
We always keep Elite stays at 10. Elite always stays at 10, and then everything else filters down from that. So we had top of my head Return to Sender, didn't sign back up again. They were an elite team. So obviously that instantly allows another spot.
Public Enemies are essentially Filthy Rogues with a little bit of Filthy Lucas, I believe.
Yep, small change there.
They went from 2 teams to 1. Life's a Beach was Hellcats International, just a name change. And then the rest, Dreads just said Blackhawk second season elite. Is it second season? It seems like it hasn't been that long. But yeah, there's some good teams in there. And again, like I said, every season it comes down to the aces at the end. Already we're seeing 3 teams who are identical, almost.
So I've just loaded up last season's things for you. So last season, end of the season, it was network error on 177. Stat finished in second on 160.
Which is close. When you're talking a full season, that's close.
Technically, it goes down to aces after that. Wins. Oh, no, yeah. Stat second on 160. In third, because it came down to number of wins, was Area 51. So they were tied on points on 160.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're pretty even on that. And then Blackhawk were 4th on 133. So we've got 177 to 133 was the top 4.
But it's a good teams getting an ace on a round. It's just padding their win score out with an extra point repeatedly. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
As Dredd will know with his 5 aces against me. So.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant there. So let's have a look through for some roster changes, because we do have some roster changes for the Elite Division. Just the one, to be fair. They've changed from an Elite team, so that was from Buds went from EMD. He's changed from there and gone into Life's a Beach. Buds does have an account as well, or did have an account, obviously, as a known alias on an NA team. That one we found out today, so he's left the NA side as well. So he's just concentrating now with Life's a Beach the remainder of the season.
Yeah, but they've got, so on the roster now, they have 7 players, include Buds. So I don't know how they're going to mix that up, if it's going to be a rotation or if they're going to have standard 4, if Buds is going to be backup. I don't know how they're going to work it. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out.
There is only one team on the Elite roster doesn't have more than 6.
Which one's that one?
The only team that has 4 players is Network Error. The same 4 players every game.
It's pretty much been the same 4 from the beginning. We give or take 1 or 2.
Which, it is nice to have reserves, but they're all dedicated players, and that's how you make a good team, isn't it? Well, I say that, Vinny. You've only got 4.
Hang on, you led that entire segment up to that point.
What a
the only reason for mentioning any of that. I can't be angry with you for that. That was a thing of beauty, to be fair. Well played. Well played.
What a troll! Oh my god!
Yeah. Jesus. Yeah, so just the one change there. Go back to business.
Yeah. Only one. Some of the other divisions have had quite a few more changes, and I say that there may have been some more over the past couple of weeks. But this is only people that are still due to or in that eligibility
in the wait period. Yeah.
So,
but as we do this weekly, we will capture a lot more of this.
Exactly. Yeah, we'll go on to it. Cheap shot. That was very cheap. Right, let's get back. Let's get us on the screen so you can see us again. If you want to, that is. So, this week, who's playing who for Elite, Vinny?
Hang on, Brittany's just said, got an extra body in. Phil Levan going to be busy with work, so there. Okay. So, yeah. I was going to say that didn't make sense. I was reading it as it was written, and then he's corrected it. Yeah, that, as we said, that didn't make a lot of sense, did it?
To fill the van.
Fill the van, yeah. Okay, so he's not playing, he's just there to fill the van. Yeah, sometimes because I only roll with a 4, and I always have done, and sometimes you're not really free, and you end up playing, but you're not really, your head's not in it. You've had a busy day, or you're kind of rushing around. It is handy to have backups if you can get everyone on the same.
Fire sale this time, aren't you? You've signed up for fire sale.
Yeah, because you're.
So obviously like that, because my guys aren't wanting to do 2 a week. I'm just going to jump on and be a reserve from your side, and that's the advantage you're doing.
Yeah.
It's not the same league as such, because it is a completely different format. So you can swap and change teams for fire sale, and I like that factor. You can muddle up a little. A lot of teams have. We've got obviously we're going to go through this a bit later on, but an all girls team, and honestly, some egos are going to get dented when they start smashing.
So yeah, good team. God, I believe, is in the fire sale, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So he was playing. Actually, they were talking about the fire sale with Brown Pit. I don't know if you know Brown Pit, or I know a lot of people that are watching on my side will probably know Brown Pit. Yeah. So he was playing with Speed God and BBNCS, and they were talking about the format of fire sale, and look at Brown Pit's yeah. So I mean that. If you guys haven't looked into the fire sale format, it's a really cool setup that these guys have. You're limited to what you can bring, and it really throws a bit of a wrench into the gears.
Yeah, I think it's important to say with fire sale, you've got to play it to really appreciate it. Like we have this all the time when people come to it new, they read the rules, they go, "Oh God, you can't hit this, you can't hit that. Oh, that's going to be crap." But it's a different game. It's a totally. Even when we did some testing, we were.
I remember actually you testing it, And even though you're not allowed grenades, I remember you specifically telling somebody not to bring grenades because you didn't trust them with them.
Mhm.
And then that same game, you threw grenades.
Yeah.
Again, like we do so much here that specific instances. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
That wasn't in a league match. That was in a test.
No, that was
Yeah.
a test. I will say that was.
There's
What
only
it
two
was just-
teams
it
that have
was
done it
just
in a match.
so funny. The timing couldn't have been better.
That was brilliant. But yeah, so when we did some testing, not that testing, before we finalised the rules, we did one round. It was against EMD actually, and we did one round where we went, right, what if we say one guy can bring grenades, and it just went back to standard firewall, and we all instantly went, yeah, that's not it. It's no different.
You go down to the tactics and you have to change your play. So just quick summary. Everyone has to have a different contractor. There are no motion sensors, no lasers, and no lethals. So no instant karma, no grenades, nothing. So you can completely change your tactics. Where in a normal league game, you wouldn't dare stand up against the door because all it takes is someone to chuck a couple of impacts through and you're dead.
Yeah.
On this, you can really get up against it, use the scout perk, anything like that, and you don't have to be frightened of going, if I stand here, I'm going to get killed with a grenade. You're going to get flashed, but you're not going to get done with a grenade.
But also, as well, people start, because we've banned motion sensors.
That's the new one. That's the new one.
Yeah, which
it brings
last season you were allowed one. Yeah, we banned them this time. But now what you're going to see is concussion grenades being used as a kind of a makeshift motion sensor. But then, of course, then you can take ghost to counteract that. So it's tricky. Yes, Brittany, absolutely. Moist, definitely.
It's gonna bring the perks in. That's what I'm looking forward to. It brings the contracts in, brings the perks in. Probably bring you love Eagle Eye. It'll bring Eagle Eye in a little bit more.
So real quick, Frankie and anybody else, Daffy, anybody on my stream. So make sure you guys are following Pro League Gaming, Pro League _gaming. They're currently streaming as well. That's where we're going to be doing these recaps in the future for the ones that I can join and make work. So if you guys want more of sort of what's been going on, make sure to follow these guys because they're the ones that are going to be the guys that are going to be doing everything. So Revlox, what's going on, man?
Struggling through. Obviously, we are set up, I believe, on auto host on AHC, but you don't get notified when that happens. No. So that's the only reason. Titch has very kindly gone live for us today. We've got Rev in. How you doing, Rev? Get everyone.
Rev's jumped on their stream. There's the support from a former teammate. Eh?
The people are going to go where they feel most comfortable.
I can't say anything without some kind of snipe being added on the end.
You can't. I think Karen nailed it on the head now. Titch carries sweets in his pockets.
I got some candy in my pockets.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
Just want to reach in there and grab some. I got some popsicles on myself.
Okay, right.
Let's have a look at some of the fixtures that are coming up this week, though, for Elite. We skipped by that one.
We have, yes. Have a look through on that. I haven't got anything that I can share on that, but you've got that in front of you.
Yeah, so this week we have Assassinos versus Lights of Beach, Area 51 versus New School, Black Hawk versus Black Mamba. That was first and fourth place, I believe. So that could be interesting to change. Public Enemies versus Stat, both teams near the bottom, so that's their chance to climb back out. And EMD versus Network Error. So really, we haven't got like a first and second or second and third playing each other. So
there's going to be some good lineups.
Yeah, there's a chance for some good scores, but nothing that's going to shake it up too much. Bear in mind, obviously only week 3.
Yeah.
I think Brittany came in late, so he didn't hear my comment earlier. But who are they playing this week? Life's a Beach?
They're playing Assassinos.
Playing Assassinos this week. Yeah, I'm gonna give that one to Assassinos 5-3. 4 aces for Assassinos.
We'll see. It's been doing well so far.
He knows if I voted for it. He knows if I voted for them, there would have been an issue. He'd be like, something wrong with Titch.
Right.
Okay. So we're gonna have a look through tactical. Just go through the stats on that side.
This one's not as clean because not everybody's played the same amount of matches.
No, I did look through this. So there was some break weeks, and strategic is a little bit worse. Again, there are a couple of teams that haven't played anything yet. They've literally gone break week back to back. In strategic, so there's 4 teams here that have only played 1 match due to break weeks. So 2 had a break week on week 1, 2 had a break week on week 2. So yeah, that's why they're not quite even on there. But with that being said, 3rd place after playing 1 match.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
Damn.
However, that's not too surprising. Hussars are a good team. Who did they play for that one? Let's have a look.
Got a feeling it was me.
Was it you?
I'm pretty sure.
That wasn't even
so.
I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. But yeah, that was our week 1. We had a really bad week.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Was that like an 8-0?
No,
it was 7-1.
So yeah, 7-1. They had 3 aces.
Yeah. But
and here we are giving Venny a hard time.
I know. Disgusted, isn't it? Yeah. Wow, I've just read Frankie One Shot's comment, and that threw me totally off. You see that to all the cute guys except Titch. He's stingy with his nipple pics. Nice.
Yeah, I keep telling Frankie that they're on my other stream. That you got to slip into the DMs with some biddies for those for that stream. Like,
why not? Why not? But so some of these teams have played a week 3 game, like me. But we don't talk about week 3 games.
Week three hasn't happened yet. After it locks in on Tuesday, because obviously people don't have to submit the score until midnight on the Tuesday, which is why we're doing this on a Wednesday, and we'll aim to do it again next Wednesday. So Accent PL are currently top spot. Doing very well there. 2 games. They've only lost 1 out of 2.
But again,
match.
Another fairly new team that are really good and will probably end up competing for the top spots in Elite eventually.
Yeah.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Fire Ghost. I played Fire Ghost last week, and I was very happy actually that we finished it 4-4. They got a couple of aces though, so that did knock them ahead of us in the end. So they won overall, but to actually get 4-4 with them, I was really happy because they were a good team.
But the change from them previously to this season, I think, is massive. They had Razzle playing against me, who pretty much just turned us over single-handedly. But they were very good, very organised.
Yeah, similar to a match that I played last week.
And then Hussars, we've already mentioned them. 3rd place with just playing 1. PS Team Poland 4th. They're one of the teams we know that have played the week 3 match, because Venny had a nice match against them yesterday. That was his 7-1 defeat.
No, it was British Mercs that hammered me.
Oh, was it? You've played those guys? You played them? Oh, so you played those last week, didn't
you? I did.
How did they beat you that last week?
They won 5-3.
That's all right. That's respectable.
Yeah, again, a good team, but Fire Ghost smashed us to bits week 1. British Mercs, not taking anything away from British Mercs, obviously, I know Dred's watching. They had a really good game last night. We had a fairly poor game, and then obviously that combined. Normally it's a bit closer, isn't it? Between my team, your team, British Mercs. We're normally the ones scratching the points near the end together.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll still end up the same.
I'm just kind of curious if there's any teams that you do smash.
No. Not really.
No? Okay.
The only time that Venny... Well, no, he doesn't even win when he plays me.
Well, that's not correct. But
so let's carry on going through. So British Mercs there in 5th, Bulletless in 6th, KIA in 7th. So that's the good order already, look. Penetrate is in 8th. And then Hellcats, Bravo, and Fire Rats take it down to the bottom. But we can't take anything from them because they've only done the bottom 3. So 8th, 9th, 10th, they've only played 1 game. So,
yeah, and if you add, say, 32 points maximum from a game, if you say, even if they got 4-4, they're going to get 12 points. Fire Rats are on 10 points now. That puts them at 22. That actually puts them into like 4th place if they were playing 2 games. So, yeah, it's it's different.
It's all on the table. The only team that's Accent PL, they're the only ones at the minute that have taken a really good lead.
Yeah, that's not going to be catchable unless things change massively.
It's going to be a tough one to catch, that's for sure. But who have they played? Load that up. Let's have a look. So they Pious Team Poland. They beat them 7-1 with 3 aces. And then, oh, crikey, Venny. They beat British Mercs 8-0.
I heard about that. I may have even watched some of it, and I may have enjoyed it a lot. Which is why karma came to bite me in the arse when they played me. But yeah, they're just a good team. And there's just some teams you just if you're not playing constantly and you haven't got like that raw ability where you're just instantly good at the game, then you can't compete.
Yeah.
You can't compete.
Wow. Oh, I see where this is the point where we turn on me now? Okay.
No.
But it wasn't. I wasn't turning.
That's you had raw talent, mate. Raw talent.
But yeah, Accent PL they're just a good team. There's just no two ways about it. I think didn't Scrock is a Scrog? I don't know how you say his name.
I think it's Scrock. He's currently in my chat. Which, by the way,
yeah.
I haven't really had much of a chance, but thanks you for tuning in.
And then Zenio, I think it's the captain, isn't he? They won the tournament we did.
Yes.
The SMG tournament.
So yeah, Zenio, Scrog, Bakier. Apologies, I can't even pronounce it. So
do you have a link to the actual rosters? Because for some reason I can't find anything on.
Would you?
Yeah, if you go,
I'll send you it. How's that?
Because when how you just subscribe, like when I do the search, it's not bringing them up. It's not bringing anybody up.
I think you need the link direct to it.
Yeah, I've got all the season 7 stuff. I just don't have any of this season stuff. Okay.
You actually won't because they're all set as private rather than public.
That's why. Okay, that makes sense.
So you won't.
But let's have a look at the fixes we've got coming up for the tactical. So you've got KIA British Mercs that have played. So British Mercs are going to catapult up there by 26 points because they had a cracking game against me. So where they are now, so they're going to go flying up that list. You've got Hussars versus Hellcats Bravo.
That is going to be good.
Not for Hellcats Bravo, it's not.
Oh, you say that, but Lee has been playing a lot and he's got some tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, no, you can't rule any team out, but it's going to be a tough game for them, definitely.
Hellcats, they played Penetrators, their first game last week, and that was 4-4, 1 ace, as it says there. So it was a good score against Penetrators. So I think, they've got some potential there. Yes, it's going to be tough against Hussars, but I think they can do it.
Interestingly, though, we mentioned like Hellcats Bravo and Fire Rats, Penetrators, they've only played one match. Now, to get level, Accent PL and Fire Rats play this week. So, again, a tough game for Fire Rats to then get some points in. There'll still be a game behind because of the break week, but that's a tough game. Again, anything can happen, but it's not a game where you're guaranteed points, that's for sure.
No.
And then Penetrators on a break week, so they're still going to be sitting there on one game, unfortunately.
That'll soon even itself out as we go through and head towards the Christmas break.
Did we have any roster changes on tactical? I don't think we did.
Yeah, we do. There's a couple on there. I think there's a couple that have already started. So we've got Penetrators have got Tinky Winky Taff, who is eligible in 2 days. And then PS Team Poland have got Nibek 82.
There's a couple more added on there, actually.
There's a couple added on since last night. There's some that added on today. But I haven't counted them because they will come under next week.
Do we know anything of those players? I don't recognise any of the PSMs.
I don't recognise any.
Which is good because that means we're still getting people who haven't played in the league, or at least not to our knowledge, still joining, and that's good. I like that.
To be fair, there is only one other change that's happened for something. I do need to change it. Not right, the next change. So yeah, it's just Pious Team Poland have put 2 players on their squad this week. One's eligible on the 22nd, one on the 25th.
Right.
That's the only other change for tactical.
I've just Dread just said in the chat, second now, thanks. So he's desperate to get them points added to the screen there.
Why would you not? Why would you not?
Yeah, it's a good tool. Right.
So we're just going to jump straight in, have a look at the strategic side.
Yeah, see where we're at. Again, not a clean one. We've got break weeks in there as well.
For that bottom team to have done nothing yet is.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to open it on my screen as well because.
Sorry, I've made it a little bit minute on that side. So.
You have, yeah.
So this is a bit of an interesting division.
Strategic always is because it's a combination of teams that have been here before and not quite made it out, and then teams that are brand new that could effectively be really, really good, but because they're new, they start at the bottom.
So then that's what I was about to say. Like right off the bat, like 12 gauge, like you look at the roster for 12 gauge, and you're like, man, Ranger 2 Patterson, Lion Z 311, Akuto Albania, J1 Star, Briggs. Like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty solid team.
And you look at 50 Shades of Pink, and they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
There are, and as you say, it is very much an honour system. If you are here and you're consistently playing in the league, you work your way up. As soon as you have a break, that's it. You drop down. If you decide I'm going to have a season off, then you work your way back up again and get your way to the top. You lose your ranking points, as it were.
What's interesting though is this has always been the case. So strategic has always been a bit of a mixed bag of talent, as it were. Tactical's always been kind of the nicer division to play in a sense, because no one is too beastly and no one is terrible, so the scores generally were even. Elite gets a bit heavy because all the teams are fucking beasts, but this season we've got the brilliant teams from strategic have come up to tactical, and that's why you're seeing such a disparity in the scores, I think.
Yeah, and next season will be exactly the same.
When
12
I think
gauge
we've just reached that point.
If they come up, so. So
but looking at this, I mean, there's only French Smokers have walked away with quite a lot of points here. So they've obviously had two 7-1 matches, or an 8-0 and a 6-2. Let's have a look, see what they've had. They've got some good points there: 7-1, 4 aces, and 7-1, 3 aces. That's took them quite far ahead. Again, still early days, but once you go down to second onwards, the points are fairly close.
Yeah, and as you say, there's even at this particular point, you go through and go 12 gauge A team. They're on 21 points with one game played. 22 points up there for Destination Fucked. It's for one game played. That's a lot of points.
Yeah.
But all three of those are on 6-2, and it's only the aces that have changed it.
Yeah. Again, as the weeks go on, then that should spread out a bit. But a good strong start for some teams there. We got Chronic Mastigators, Blood and Bones. They've had a little bit of a rough start, but I'm assuming then obviously they've played these teams that have had a good start. So yeah.
So that's pretty good. We'll just talk about a couple of the roster changes as we change over. And Endgame, obviously they've had the biggest overhaul for this particular week. So let's just see what changes we've got there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Death Squad have just added one. They've added Sleepy Rest in. He'll be eligible in a couple of days. Endgame's a little bit harder. So they haven't played. They've had 2 break weeks back to back. So they haven't yet played a game. 2 days ago, they lost the captain. The captain resigned. So they've brought in a new captain, or one of the guys has stepped up and taken over as captain. And then they've recruited another couple of players, so they'll be obviously ready to go in 3 days for their first game next week.
Yeah, so they've done well to manage to keep it going, because obviously that chucks a right spanner in the works. But real life comes first.
Yeah,
has to.
Hey Tomo, how you doing, buddy? Got Tomo watching. Real life does come first, and that's the whole point. It is a competitive league, but that's one of those horrible things. You've got to, at some point, you've got to go through. Yeah, I'm going to take over, or I've got to forfeit this match. you end up having to go down that route. You know, if something happened, my daughter ended up ill, I wouldn't hesitate. I'll just forfeit a match.
Yeah.
Because you hit that situation and it messes up the rest of the season, but I still think I'd just about level peg with Dread.
Just got to get that in there. I'm just looking at the fixtures for this one, actually. So if you want to put the table back up for this, the fixtures, interestingly, so we've got French Smokers who are walking away at the moment with like an 18-point lead, if my maths is correct, because I just glanced at it. But they're playing Punishers. So first and second are playing each other this week. So that'll be interesting. The rest, I don't think anything of note's going to really happen because everything else is so close. So there's not really much to kind of take from the fixture list other than teams are playing. there's nothing standard from it.
Teams are playing, but you do see some patterns as they come through. You know, that's a given. You see a lot of patterns.
You want to bring in?
Please, yeah, please.
Bring in the Wolfman.
It's gonna mess up all your.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You ready?
Just be aware.
Yeah, so we can have a little bit rejigging here while we bring in Wolf.
You just carry on talking, guys. I'll go.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. So real quick, anybody over on AHC, be sure to follow Pro League Gaming, Pro League _gaming. If I was smart, I'd probably drop the link. Let me get that for you guys real quick. You think I'd have this prepared, but I really don't. So here it is for you guys over on my. What the hell? Oh, I brought up the. Anyway, long story.
You've broken it. Titch, you've broken him. Yeah.
You know, I opened up your stream and then it started playing and I was getting this weird feedback. I was like, anyway, threw me off. So for everybody over on my side, make sure you're following Pro League Gaming as this kind of stuff is going to be mainly done on their stream. I'm just kind of helping out on our stream just for the notification purposes to let you guys know where to go in order to, find this information for maybe next week.
Yeah,
maybe next week.
Well, like I said, with it being a new format, so we want to try and do real life permitting. We want to try and do it every week, and just so people have a bit more of a connection to what's going on across the league. You know how people are doing, how it's going to end up in the next few weeks, roster changes, that kind of stuff. But if there's anything people want us to kind of cover or any talking points that people think would be useful, let us know. Like if it's ideas for future events and stuff like that we could discuss, then absolutely not a problem. Titch is very good at telling people where to go. Yeah.
Just ask me, I'll tell you.
Right, okay, let's see. When this transition comes in, we have Wolf and the Child joining us.
Wolf and the Child.
Wolf and the Child.
Otherwise known as Baby Yoda.
Yeah, Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
we're going to need a bigger desk, guys.
So that's actually where Wolf's name comes from in the beta.
Is it? All right, okay.
Yeah, it's Luke here has.
Here we go. We're in.
Has been nicknamed Baby Yoda. So what's going on, Billy? Yeah, so it's not actually him playing Elvo. It's actually Luke.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why.
Got to start early, you know.
That's why there's such a big discrepancy between Wolf's gameplay and Firewall, and suddenly he's so good at Elvo. Like, it doesn't make sense, and I figured it out.
Yeah, definitely. You do notice a pattern of who's there, but we know who spends more time at home. That's for sure. How's life going?
Are we talking to me now?
We're talking to you.
Okay.
I don't think we're going to get an answer out of Baby Yoda.
Whoa, hang on. What's this shit Karen thrown here?
Wait, what was that?
Karen says, finally a good-looking guy on stream. Can we just take Wolf back out? oh, sorry, she meant your son. Oh, okay.
He's gone.
Life's good. Busy, adjusting to a new work schedule, but got home late, so thank you guys for letting me join, even if it's momentary. And I got the star of the show right here.
Definitely.
I mean, he always ends up making the stream better. I don't know how, but
you got it. Yeah.
Nice to get everyone together.
Good time, actually. It's
I
really
like
good
how
time.
his eyes are just barely over the desk.
Well, you've come just in time, Wolf, because the next section is the NA Elite Division. So you guys obviously have the inside perspective on this one.
We do, and I'd have to say elite is not an appropriate term for some of us.
Yeah.
But we will have a look. Let's jump in very quickly. We'll have a look, go through the stats for that side.
Yeah, so this is one that Wolf and I are obviously very familiar with, and we're very familiar with a lot of these teams. So first thing we noticed with this season is we've got more teams this season.
Oh yeah,
Which means
right
you've
off
got more
the bat.
teams that are better than you. Is that what you're saying? Because I'm seeing a difference to last season here.
There is a difference to last season.
second.
Well, some sour gummy worms, to be fair, is so going in. We got Killer Bees. We're pretty familiar with them from the other league. Meat Pack, same thing. We're familiar with them. The rosters we'll go over in a bit. Rain, winners of last season. Looney Tunes coming in. They've had a couple of roster changes. Click Clack. Most of those guys we're familiar with as well. Chronic Mastigators returning. Contact, I'm down. Hollow Tips, Sour Gummy Worms, which were Pajama Party. So they're sitting pretty much where they were last season anyway. So that's kind of a reflection. Gentleman's Assassins Guild, again, another returning team. Scrub Squad, returning team, and NWG The Family, which is a bit of a returning. But
It's kind of a hybrid of
yeah,
two teams plus a little bit, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the family reunion no one wanted, but happened anyway.
But interestingly, Killer Bees is obviously a new team coming in.
9 aces.
Again, very strong start. Yeah, the aces are.
Yeah, so yeah, Killer Bee, Scrock, Roofcock. Help me out here, Wolf, because I'm doing this off the top of my head.
I could get the roster here.
Scrot, Killer Bee, Turtle,
Yes.
K24 Naughty, and Roofcock.
Yeah, Naughty Boy. That's right. Yeah, an absolute powerhouse of a team on the NA side. Let me tell you. Like if I were to like look, if somebody were to hand me the list at the beginning of the season and be like, what were your top picks? Like top 3, Killer Bee, Meat Pack, Rain.
Well, interestingly,
agree.
We mentioned Scrock on Killer Bees there, so he's also on Accent PL that we've just been talking about and how well they're doing. Yep. So he's obviously a good player, and it's not just one person, but he's obviously having good games across the board there.
The nice thing is that Killer Bees, they're relentless regardless of whether or not they're in a bad position. I mean, we have video footage specifically showing just how dedicated they are despite their circumstances, and it's just incredible. I mean, I'm not saying that they're that no other team does that, but watching them is really thrilling just to see because of their tenacity and face against adversity. It's just impressive to watch.
Well, it is easy when you start going down a few games, and especially if you lose your map, attack and defend, the map you've picked, and then you're going into their map, which is one you don't like. It's easy to get in your own head and start losing it a bit. That is quite tricky.
Is new for Meat Pack as well, isn't he, this season?
So Meat Pack actually wasn't in last season.
Yeah, so when you played in the other league, that was restricted to region only, wasn't it? So
no, so that started this current season. Okay. The season before that and the first season, they had a 2 roster limit for outside, but you can only have 1 play, if I recall correctly. So Meat Pack, because of Lionsy, with the change in the rules over on the North American side, that's why Meat Pack didn't join this season. So they've moved over to Pro League.
Doing well.
With a little bit of with us covering it and Hank and stuff like that. They were like, you know what, let's do it. And it was like the last week. I think it was like days before the cutoff. Actually, I think it was the day before cutoff.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
the day before cutoff, they joined.
Hank's a regular for your stream, isn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yes.
So we've got Scrock in the chat here in Canada talk about Meat Pack playing Killer Bees. Was that Sean? You just scrolled away. Yeah, so Killer Bees versus Meat Pack playing tonight.
Yeah, they
First
play
and second place.
now.
So
They played 9. Yeah.
Are you guys covering that one? Are you?
So there's 3 games I think going on tonight. Actually, one got rescheduled, right? So we're back down to 2.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea what the hell is going on with my game. To be honest with you. So there's for sure at least 2 games tonight, and we were actually going to talk about this afterwards. But this is actually one of the games that I was going to suggest, because I mean I think we need to know. I mean, that, like, if we were to guess, like, we'd need to know. And these teams have probably played before. If we were to go back through, I think Wolf has all the stats from previous seasons. I can almost guarantee they played, because Killer Bee was in first and I believe second season, were they not?
In what?
North American Firewall.
Yeah, they were. Well, Meat Pack and Killer Bees were definitely in the first one, along with Meat Pack. I think Meat Pack carried over into the second, but I'm pretty certain early on Killer Bees ended up going over to the Pro League. But of course, they went under different banners at times. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I mean that's definitely, like, if we were to cast a game tonight, that would be one that we would most likely.
What time is that scheduled for?
So that's going to be in 2 hours.
Oh man, I need to stay awake. You know, it's only midnight. I can do it.
That's it, man. You got to
Who needs sleep?
What's another bollocking from the wife?
If you're going for one, you might as well go for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry?
Is your stream stopped now? Or is that still going on?
Yeah, it's still
No,
on.
it's still gone.
It's still on.
Oh, it just paused for me. Right, never mind, it's back.
Billy, when did you join your team?
Yeah, so Billy wants to join my team. So unfortunately, I could have used him last week. But yeah, unfortunately.
And now you're out the window for Jesse going away because it's 7 days wait.
Yeah.
Bad timing.
It's just bad timing. And the other thing too is we've had this ongoing sort of. It started as a joke, but it's just like the joke became the rule. That because we're all Canadian, it's like we are the national Canadian scrub squad, and the only way you could play was to be Canadian. So even as much as I want Billy on my team, and I'd be like, yo, I will kick any one of my teammates out in a heartbeat to put Billy in. I'll step aside. I don't give a shit. Billy could run the whole show.
I'm sure you didn't say that earlier. I thought you said. I'm sure you said 100% loyal.
I did say we were 100% loyal, but that's the problem. Because we're loyal, I can't take on Billy. That's the problem.
This conversation raises 2 points as well, actually, though. Obviously, that you can only play for one team at a time, but this is why we renamed the NA division to NA Elite. So you've got the EU Elite and you've got NA Elite. They're 2 separate leagues for all intents and purposes. So they're all part of Season 8, but they're 2 separate leagues. So you can play in a team for both. However, you can only have one outside of region player in a match at a time.
Yeah.
If I wanted to go out and join, so if I wanted to join Fire Sale, join the SA, join the ANS, join the NA, and be in an elite, I could. I couldn't play for 6 leagues at the same time.
You could be in elite division.
No, I couldn't. But you know what I mean. I could join a team that's in elite, but I wouldn't be an elite player. Let me get that right.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let's correct me if I'm right. So you can't have somebody in NA Elite that's in the EU Elite?
Yeah.
No, you can. You can.
That's why I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Sorry, you
confused me. This is the thing. So you could play for an NA team and an EU team. You can't play for 2. You can't play for 2 teams within the region. But the difficulty you've got is that if Billy did join your team, for example, and you also had another EU player, you could only play one of them.
I couldn't have them both. Yeah.
You could have them in the squad, but you could only play one at a time. But it just means that because we had this before. I think it was it Terrorist who had a team. Well, he was on Ian's team, and they had a lot of mixed nationalities that they could one at a time.
Wasn't that Chronic Mastigators?
No,
that was InterKS.
InterKS.
So they had a lot of nationalities. Right. So what they had to do is they joined the EU and the NA so that they could guarantee that they could rotate the squad and everyone would get a game every week.
Worked really well for them, actually, didn't it?
It did, yeah. But then they had other issues crop up between seasons that they couldn't resign. They couldn't commit to it. Yeah. But yeah, it's flexible to do that. Have we got any roster changes for NA, Sean, while I'm here?
We do. We have a couple, to be fair.
I've looked at this personally.
So one of them actually became active today. Chronic Mastigators, I cannot believe I'm saying they've added another player.
Yeah.
Can we set a contingent limitation to them, like specifically?
Like
there are only so many Gators you can have.
Like I think you have to give them their own trophy case for like the amount of people on a team.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 16 players.
Wow.
They'll add another 4 by the end of the season.
16 players.
Yeah, without a doubt.
But,
They'll be up to 26.
Don't get me wrong, I love those guys, man. We Alcandor and them, they're great dudes. But yeah, man,
El Candor last season was absolutely brilliant. You know, he had reformed the team, got some different players in, and that's what he was concentrating. He was concentrating last season, getting new blood in and training them up for this season. And
but they run it like a community, don't they? So they've got
brilliant.
their own Discord and like I don't know. There's just something different about the way they present themselves. Yeah.
And they have really good leaders on that team. I mean, you watch Joe Magic Ninja play, and he literally is magic. He's such a awesome killer in the game. And Silent Lizard, BJ, and Longball. I mean, they're all just incredible players. And they're definitely very good strategists when it comes to playing. I mean, having played alongside them a couple of times myself, I mean, they know the maps and they play them well and they have fun doing it. So it's pretty low stress, but very tactical, strategical, and they're solid.
Yeah, they are a solid team.
The Everyday, who they've just added, what team has he just been added to on the other leagues? We've mentioned this name already, and I can't remember.
I don't think we did.
No, we haven't.
I'm sure we did. You know, I'm sure I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, I think that you probably saw that when I sent you the roster link, but no, we've not mentioned it.
Yeah, I could be lying then.
Yeah,
I think you are.
So one that we have mentioned for a roster change, which isn't on this. This is a leaving a team. So from next week, I intend to have a full-on update for you of players that have left a team and joined teams, so we can literally see a full transparent roster. So we had Wild Coyote left Looney Tunes. So that is a player that's left.
Why the Coyote?
Yeah, he's left. So that was Bud. So
that's unfortunate.
Now, was that not one of the members we were talking about earlier on? That was yes.
Yeah. So
I knew about that.
He's joined Brittany's team. Obviously, Bud's 21. He's joined Brittany's team. He fully declared that he had 2 aliases, and the alias for them was purely because they're the Looney Tunes. You know, they kept their names match the Looney Tunes, so he was open from the start on that.
Yes.
But he's gone, I can't be in 2 teams because I want to concentrate on 1. Hats off. Credit.
Well, yeah, credit to him. But talk about the Looney Tunes and, somebody that you can't play on 2 teams or can't dedicate the time. Somebody who can dedicate the time, however, is Porky Pig. Porky Pig is an interesting character. Kind of funny, talks funny, weird little accent, otherwise known as Zamek.
Yes.
He fits the alias Porky Pig well then.
Exactly.
I'm Zamek, folks.
He could.
Brilliant
to bring up here as well. A point to bring up while we. Sean, can you move that off the screen because it's unnerving not being able to see what's actually being broken. Yeah, that's cool. An interesting note on the aliases. So we don't think Smurf accounts should be allowed in a league for transparency purposes. So we have no problem with someone using an alternate account and being in the league. However, it doesn't necessarily have to be on a poster on every wall that everyone looks at of who they are. But if someone asks who that person is, they have to be prepared to. Yeah, it's not fair to hide behind an alternate name, but at the same time, it's fine to use a different name.
And we do track it, and people that have joined with a name that we go, hold on, what's that? I've seen that around. We do question it. That's part of our responsibility as organising the league to keep everything transparent. But I'm pretty sure we've labelled it out there like Daffy Duck. They're an alias as well, but we know that one.
Yeah.
To be honest, it's all the same team because they were fitting in with the theme of the Looney Tunes.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yeah.
And it's fine to know that. It is nice to know who you're going against, and that's the whole point of having. It's a different name, but the same player. It's under the same umbrella.
Well, you might look at this. It's nice to know who you're going against, but I can tell you after playing against Porky Pig, I can tell you it was not nice knowing who I was going up against. But it's okay.
But
I took it like a champ.
Exactly, but would you have rather known that before, like you did, or found out while you were in the game?
I actually knew before the season even started. So I was privy to that information well beforehand.
Yeah. So this is why we ask for it, and people are honest for us, because we have said that if there's any underhandedness and people try and sneak through a player to go onto another team without declaring it. So, for example, you could go through and say, I'm adding this player, he's North American, but he's not North American, he's EU, and then they're playing 2 EU players. If anybody tries to do anything underhanded like that, you're out. You know, that's why we monitor it, and it all comes under that umbrella of just monitoring the league and monitoring the stats. Anyway, let's carry on down. So
yeah, do I transition back over?
I'm just going to go down. So obviously people have done it. We haven't gone through the teams. Click Clack, new player, the Truth. And then the Hollow Tips, which you mentioned earlier, Tips, they've got B-Star joining onto their side.
I don't know the names. Anybody got any comments on these particular players?
B-Star used to play for I'll Be Out Here Wolf. I'm going to rely on you.
You know, I don't recall watching B. I think he was more of a sub, not a core.
Yeah, but he was definitely on another team.
He was, but I can't recall because he didn't play that much.
I have all the old NA cards. I could a majority of the old NA cards. I could probably go back and find it. But yeah, he was definitely on.
I'm just trying to find. There's one thing I've just noticed, and I recognise the name, so I'm just quickly having a look through something just to find out where I recognise it from.
This conversation is gonna bring us to a point. I'll go in a bit more detail shortly.
I've got it.
About players playing for a team and being a sub or being one of the core players. There was an interesting question got raised in Discord today. That is a conversation we've had many times, and we've never really found a way to implement that. I think it'd be interesting to see what people think in the chat once we've covered all this. So I'll hang fire a bit, but we'll hold that thought. And we'll pick that up in a moment.
And real quick, the Truth, for those who don't know, I think most of Click Clack is coming from 420 Kings. So we're familiar with like King Cole, the Truth, Sat McKilla, Hugo. They're all pretty much coming from essentially the same crew. They've just rebranded.
Click Clack was also over on, or Click Clack is also over on the North American Firewall League side too as well.
So on the Hollow Tips, you mentioned that earlier. I don't know whether you know the players, whether you put the association through. So I was just looking through. There was a name that I noticed, and this was through Alvo that I noticed.
Diaz.
No, ASM Caden. Do you guys know, Wolf? Do you know who that is that we've been dealing with? ASM Caden. Now, if I say this to you, you'll go,
I don't.
Bloody hell, is it really? KK Savage.
Ah, okay.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same person.
All right.
So here's
Savage.
Interesting. Yeah.
Now we know. Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah.
I mean, I of that team, I recall playing Digman, Ike, Ace Diaz, and Death Dragon. I know those players. I've fought them. I've watched them play. But then the rest, I'm not entirely sure of. Now I know Caden. But
is this for who is this for? Sorry, Hollow Tips.
Yeah, Hollow Tips. So they've got ASM Caden on theirs, which is Savage.
Big fan. Like dirty. Ace Diaz. Oh yeah, Ace Diaz. He's in the Elvo Discord as well, actually.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say it first. It is a big crossover, isn't it?
Yeah.
There is. Yeah, well, obviously a lot of the community from this were all there for a VR game, so there's a lot of community across on the two. That's crazy. Right. Are we all decent are we all decent for a transfer back? All for you?
Yeah, we're just gonna go.
Yeah, I'm good.
What do we have lined up?
Let's get us back on. So for next week,
feeling crowded in here.
Let's get close, mate. Let's get close. Other way.
So yeah, important points outside of the leagues we've covered. We've had someone join the Discord. Yeah, so we've got fire sale registration is open, but will be closing imminently. That is going to launch from Monday. So we did mention fire sale. That's quite off-putting. We did mention the fire sale rules a little bit earlier on. If anybody wants to join that, it is an EU league, so people outside the EU can play, but we need 3 EU players in the team to play in every match. If enough of the NA side are interested, we'll do an NA one as well.
Just need the out teams.
So,
yeah, so
it is a bit more complicated, but it's my preferred league, in all honesty.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah. But so we haven't got a hard deadline for the registration. It's still open, but like I said, the league starts Monday, so we need to give ourselves a couple of days to get started because there's a lot of work involved. So anyone who wants to jump on it, do it now. Get in there immediately.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. EU fire sale. We've got the SA League, South American League. That is also on the verge of deadline. So get signed up for that one if you haven't already. And the ANZ League, that one is open again. Yeah, looking forward to get some teams in. So we do need the numbers. Now, it wasn't too bad with the ANZ League last time. We only had 6 in that. You know, it was the first season for that. It was very small. But we flipped it up. We just went to them, look, we'll do it with 6. We'll run it for the 6, but you'll play each other twice. So it just keeps the season length in. So we can be fluid like that. Everything's set up for us to do that. So it's not an issue if we do.
Yeah, and they did it totally fine. They were happy with it, and Anonymous came out again with another victory out of that.
Yeah, they was
doing.
Leo's a machine in the team.
Yeah, I was actually trying to set up a match for them. We had on the NA side, we had a discussion of, since they were the top, who would be better, them or Creme Brulee, but they declined it because I found out actually that they play each other often as warm-ups, so they didn't want to do it as a public and kind of make it a battle amongst themselves kind of deal. As much as we would have loved to watch it, but yeah, I get it. I respect their idea. But yeah, man, we were at first they were like, you know what? Maybe we're like, oh, this is gonna be sick, Anonymous versus Creme Brulee. But yeah, no, they unfortunately.
And I just want to throw out a plug. I've talked to a few people who are newer to the game, some that are closer to me from a different title. But if anyone's hesitant about joining a league or a tournament or whatever, I say this often, and I say it on purpose often. If you don't get into something like that, you're not going to advance nearly as quickly if you just run publics. If you don't run something structured. There's no shame in getting in and getting your ass kicked. I mean, it happens to me all the time. So, you don't have to be good. You just have to want to go in and love the game and love the experience. And most of the players, most of the teams who have been through this already will guide you or help you or support you, play privates, run private matches that aren't even scheduled. I mean, it's a good way to access the community on a larger scale than probably what you're accustomed to.
Yeah.
And
I would say, I think
the pro league's amazing because it doesn't cost anything. So hop in and play.
I think a lot of people probably wouldn't play the game without a league. I think that's not unfair to say. I think a lot of people would probably not give it that much time now because it has been out a long time. Not that there's anything wrong with the game. It's just been out a long time, and I think a lot of people stick around for league play. And that could be said of any kind of game, Rocket League, CSGO, all that kind of stuff. The leagues keep it alive, but it's a totally different experience, definitely.
Yeah,
right. Yeah. Well, if you just go from the EU side, if you base that on being 5 players in a team, for the average, some have got 6, but if you base it on 5 players in a team, we've got 33 teams. So that's 150 players that are playing the game every week, and that's just on the EU side for that. So then you add in the NA side, South American side. We're probably keeping the best part of 400 players weekly playing Firewall.
God, Jesus, that is insane. That's insane to think about.
It is brilliant. And then, obviously, you can't go in if you went Chronic Mastigators with their 16 players. It soon ups the figures.
It's closer to like
we're going to see the roster at 400 soon.
But,
they just have everyone.
it is good to see that people are still wanting to play competitively. Looker A team, new team, really nice team.
Yeah, they've came in with a great attitude to the game as well, haven't they?
Yeah,
which is
nice.
nice.
Play it for fun, enjoy it, make it what it is, and it is nice to see teams still coming in, even at this stage. You know, especially when you look down the likes of Rich Merck's been with us 8 seasons now. Fred's been with us since the start.
Yeah, it's about time they just packed up and went now. Like, you know, let the new guys come in.
I know for NA side, for us, like one of the biggest things for the NA side was the division of teams as far as ability as scale went. Like we came second. Like that's like we should not be second. I'll be the first to say it. Like I don't know how the hell we made it to finals is beyond me.
Titch, where are you now?
Now we've only played one.
The table's upside down.
No. Just give me a number.
12th. 11th, sorry, 11th.
11th. Okay. So we fixed that problem then.
Yeah, you fixed that problem for sure, 100%. You stacked the deck, and I should have retired at the end of last season.
Yeah, you should have gone out on a high because.
Yeah, I should have. I was so close to doing it. I was so close, but the guys wanted to play again. I was like,
well, who wouldn't want to in this league? The other thing with the NA side is that there's always been, there was another league. There's competition there, but we're starting to see some, I don't want to say movement or immigration. It's more like more opportunities, and the Pro League brings an opportunity that is not comparable at this point.
Well, let's work on that for something for expansion. You can probably do that between your amateur hour. So the fire sale, we love the format. Let's chuck it out there to the NA side. See what you get. If we get 6 teams, play each other twice. It's a good format. People need to see that format, and I think it adds that little bit more competitiveness again. So I'll leave that in your capable hands to do a poll and see who wants to do that from North America.
Put it in perspective. For fire sale, imagine you don't get rushed with grenades. If you don't enjoy dying by grenades, give fire sale a go.
The wrong one.
Just give it a go. Yeah. Just enjoy it. It's different.
Even if you use it as a practice match, join a second league and use it as practice.
I call fire sale like the actual tactical tournaments.
It's the hardcore mode, basically.
Yeah, it is the full out, like it's gunfights. There's no motion sensor, or there's one.
There's not now. There was, but there's not now.
No motion.
Now there's not. So there's no motion sensors.
No lasers.
One jammer. No lethals.
No laser.
No laser. Everybody's got to be running different contractors. Not everybody can run. Yeah, it's.
And I think you guys have already mentioned this. You mentioned this earlier on, but it actually I think it was Venny who had mentioned it. How it grants you a greater appreciation for everything that's in the game. It doesn't it doesn't allow you to just stack a team that is so dominant in terms of damage, resiliency, and also weapon output and strategy. It forces you to play and think creatively, which traditional leagues or tournaments don't. It's usually a free for all and use what's accessible to you. But that's what makes Fire Sale so cool.
One of the skills is using free smoke grenades. Nobody ever takes that, but because you're restricted in certain things you can do, it becomes a viable option. And then you actually see a breach using 3 smoke grenades, and it changes it all completely. So it's worth a go. Definitely worth a go. So we'll put that out.
It's worth thing to see what happened. We're on week 3 now, so we're well into the current league. So any teams, and you probably didn't notice, Venny. I noticed, and I don't think in the whole season we've done before. And I will like to say thank you to the community on this. We didn't have to chase anyone for scores this week, or in the last 2 weeks. 2 weeks, and we have not chased a single team from EU or NA. Everyone's been updated. Cheers, Arpop. We're enjoying.
Hold on, let me get my knife.
But yeah, no, we didn't have to chase anyone for scores. Obviously, we've got the systems in place now that automatically cut the scores off from being updated, but we didn't even come close to that.
Which is not something we want to do. Like, the
No.
end goal is not to cut the scores off.
But we have to have a system in place that does it.
Yeah.
But we've not had to chase a single team.
That's incredible.
That's amazing. Absolutely amazing. Even for the new teams that have joined, they've just jumped straight on it. Done.
And you know what? And it's, I gotta say, like, we love the gaming synergy setup. For us, like, to be able to see everything is phenomenal. For our end.
Is that a camo joke? Hang on. Is that because my shirt's camouflage?
Probably.
Or yeah, I'm still waving.
Is it?
You can see him yeah, no, but the gaming synergy side is phenomenal. And if you guys are looking, if anybody's looking to do anything on any other games, I believe you can check our gaming synergy for
Pretty much
like
whatever
realistically.
you want. If it's not there, we can add it.
Yeah.
Now, this brings
AHC
me
could
to
start a Rocket League tournament if we wanted.
Yeah, please.
Gaming synergy brings me
We've been
to
trying.
a point I mentioned earlier on, though, about the players being core players or substitutes. Now, we had a question. I said we've talked about this many times, haven't we, Sean? And had difficultly kind of thinking how many people would want to do it, would actually give us what we need. But we were thinking, when you put your score in, have a section on Gaming Synergy that lets you pick from your roster which players played in the match. You could go even further with who got kills and what, but that's difficult to track.
An optional setting, just to give it a little bit more stat tracking.
We'd like is so that each player has a player profile as such, and then you can almost get a skill rating for that player. So then when we have a new player join a team, we go, so Zamek, for example, he's won lots of tournaments,
every fucking tournament, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. He's won loads of individual matches, loads of matches within it. So then he goes to a team that isn't very good. He joins my team, and then
that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
I don't think we can pay Zamek.
Shameless recruiting plug.
No, I was just picking a terrible team as a bar of to explain the point. But then, you see, if Sean joined my team and we're looking at roster change, you go, Sean's joining Benny's team.
Won't change for cool.
Yeah. It's kind of the same. Zamek's joining Benny's team. All right, okay, this guy has won this many games, this ace percentage, and it changes it all up. But at the moment, we don't know who's played on what match.
I can tell you, after playing Looney Tunes, and Looney Tunes is a great team on their own. Don't get me wrong. I think when we played, I think last season it was 5-3. 2 aces on our end, maybe. But this season, just adding Zamek and a couple of change ups, we lost 7-1 with like 5 aces on their side.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
You can change games on his own, definitely.
Like it's the one. So actually, Daffy and I were actually talking about this, and he's like, oh, so they actually had stats. So I guess they keep track of stats too, because he's like, it wasn't a total carry. He's like, I had this many kills and whatnot. I'm like, hey man, all I'm saying is the one time that we killed Zamek right off the hop was the one game that we won.
But see, Flashbots, who is the captain of Penetrators, one of our moderators, he actually tracks all this stuff himself, and he uses it for his own benefit to make sure everyone's getting kind of a fair run out, who's doing what. And I think if we could get that on. See, I'm not sure what's going on here, Sean. You're confusing the shit out of me here by putting it on the screen.
I'm busy.
He's just putting on some background.
Yeah, but so Flashbots tracks it, and he showed us this, and we thought, oh, that looks great. But we're getting people doing the scores now. In the past, we've had trouble having to chase people. This season seems a bit better, but we still have to chase people for scheduling matches, putting scores in. If we then force some people to put on who played in the match, it's maybe a little bit much. But if it's an optional thing, it's maybe something we can look at. So I'd be interested to see what the community, any team captains in the chat, think about adding that information in. Would they actually care?
Yeah.
Would they spend time doing it?
If it was optional, because for me to put something like that in, that is probably 4 days worth of coding. So it needs to be something that's beneficial for everyone to use. To go forward, and whether you could see that needing to be in that system.
So I would be interested to do it as long as if at the end of it, putting all our scores at the end of the season, if Jesse was at the bottom of the list, I would 100% be all over this, and it would just be one more thing that we could just be like, Jesse, look at this.
Unfortunately, that won't happen for you, as he gets the majority of the kills anyway. So
Does he?
he really does, dude. He gets a lot of kills.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how it goes. And it's essentially like what games would normally have built in. But I don't know of any VR game that does, because obviously VR games tend to be a little lighter on the feature set than something like Call of Duty would be.
Well, yeah, because I don't think, you know, when you compare Firewall to other, I don't want to say traditional esports, but popular esports, you know, Firewall wasn't designed with esports in mind.
No.
So it really takes a lot of back end work to accomplish anything from, you know, stat collection, scheduling, to broadcasting, to like everything that goes into it. So it really takes up a lot of work on the back end, and getting additional stats in there. I mean, that's just not something that's in the system currently. That's something that would have to be done on the back end. So, you know, if that's something that people want for Firewall specifically, you know, be sure to be vocal, let people know, and it could be accomplished. But at the same time, there's got to be a degree of responsibility, and you know, from the players' end, from the team's end, make sure to get those stats in.
I've just found something. I'm gonna try and chuck it on the screen just to show. So this is something from not very long ago, April 2019. Just to give you an idea of the time frame from it. So if I get this added in for you, work quite.
I have no idea what you just did.
I have no idea what's going on.
That was right. My fault.
For people watching, right? So we are watching Sean streaming this in OBS on a studio mode, so we can see what's on the screen and also what's about to go on the screen.
Honestly,
and he keeps messing with the preview.
They haven't even got to the good pictures yet.
So we keep seeing our faces, and there's like a window flies in from nowhere that we don't know what's happening on, and we've just got to carry on talking like it's not happening, but it's going on.
There was like three of us. There was three of each of us on the screen there at one point.
And sometimes there's only enough tips that you can handle in one go, and then it becomes.
Here we go. So
multiply me into three, and we're about to have a good time.
All right. While you are going to do this transition, I am going to disappear for one moment.
Yes.
So you couldn't even wait for the transition? Man, what a guy. He wouldn't do us very well in HC.
So
we disappear all the time. And
he does. He goes, yeah, bladder like a sieve. So I'm just going to chuck this over the top of us, actually. While we're doing it. So if I go out there. So this is... What would that be? 18 months ago. This is what we were using before Gaming Synergy. So if Tomo's still in the chat, this is where Tomo actually finished. Top of the season. At that point. So this is what we used to use before we had Gaming Synergy, just for tracking everything. And you know, the captains would come on here and they would physically update the score stats as you go through. So we kept the if you notice that the layout actually of the scores widget that we've got is fairly similar, because this is where we came from.
Yeah.
So
I'm just still comprehending Melvin's laggy banana. And I can't help but think of Lindsay and Hank's whole thing going on there. If anybody knows about that,
you know, from where things have come through and you know, going along there, it's absolutely phenomenal. I don't know what season this was, but I imagine, top of my head, this was probably 4 or 5. For where we're at, possibly 4. Nicolicus.
What is that picture?
Yeah, you don't want you don't want to see the picture.
No, it's the banana one. I'm still on the banana.
You're still on the banana.
Is he stabbing himself? What is going on here?
Yeah, he's got like a penknife.
No, if you're in chat, I think we need to talk. I got more questions than I got answers out of this picture.
Yeah, you know, we got Binchy, absolutely brilliant team when they were in there, and you go down, and we're gonna find. Now this is the effectively what is tactical. There was an elite one, which is why we can't see British Mercs, because they were in the one above.
I've just come back, and I've come back to Nicolicus' image being on the screen. What a treat that is! Yeah,
but yeah, just going through. Just talking on how things have changed over the time, Vinny, in such a short period, really.
I love it.
Phenomenal, really. Yeah, from what we have now to an app where people can just go in, quickly update the scores, and it's done.
So how long ago did you guys start the league? Or was okay? So I know that you guys kind of came in, and like, how long has Pro League been going on for?
We came in season 2, I believe. Was it season 2?
A long while, yeah. You and I
season
came
8.
Generally about 4 months a season.
Hang on, actually, I've got the trophy cabinet that would tell me I think I've got the dates of events. Let me have a quick glance at that, see if I can make sense.
Yeah, it's just weird to go back and look at like where you started, because AAC did that 1 year stream. I don't know if you guys checked that out. I would blame if you didn't.
Oh, hey Choco. Yeah, so we haven't got dates of the seasons. Now, we were strictly just a league doing seasons at first before we kind of moved on.
We were a UK. Obviously, that took us a long while to get from that branding. We were a UK league. We started as a UK league, and then went EU, and then we took over the world.
Correct.
That's one way to look at it.
The earliest event I have is a knockout tournament from June 2019. The earliest knockout. But bear in mind,
then.
Yeah, there were seasons before. That's the earliest recorded date I've got. So that's over a year ago. Nearly a year and a half ago, and we were already well established before that even took place.
These Google Sheets that I'm looking at, I've got February 2019 dated there for the last time I modified and opened one.
Yeah,
that's the last time I opened it, so that was already running from then. So
apparently, Choco Q was very disappointed when he came in.
Yeah,
Choco's always disappointed. How you doing, Choco?
It's emotes all over.
Is it Choco or Choco?
I would say Choco.
Hot chocolate.
Not Choco.
Choco. Right, Choco, if you're still in there, write your name out how you would say it. That's incorrect. Sorry, I know it's your name, but that's
Choco.
Incorrect. Yeah, that's incorrect.
Like as in like a chocobo, like as in Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah. Sorry, but that's just not what you're going to get called.
So
anyway,
what you've missed, Choco, is we've just been reviewing every single division. We've gone through all the stats, everything like that from it, the roster sheets, just where everyone's at going forward. Just a week 2 rundown really of the league.
Choco, can you just give me a quick For anybody that plays Final Fantasy, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't play it.
Choco, so if you're in the Pro League chat, Discord, Choco is, I would say, the number 2 fan of Alvo. Second behind Chris Taylor.
Ooh, he's going to be hurt by that.
He's going to be hurt. I'm
going to post that, and I'm going to go post that in the Alvo Discord right now.
You're going to clip it at the end of the stream, I know you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to share the hell out of that.
That brings us to another point that we haven't really touched on yet. Obviously, we are a Firewall league, because that has been the game to run leagues on. We do intend to. We did look at the possibility of a Squadrons league, but that wasn't really set up for it. I don't think. It didn't really seem to have the kind of league play that we wanted.
Or the following. Not many people actually went to it, which was quite surprising, really.
I think a lot of people got it.
Shooters. Yeah.
I think a lot of people, from what I've heard, got it, and then like everybody talked about it for like 2 weeks, and then
just died.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't know if it was a failure more so than the expectations were too high and it could never quite live up to it. That's part of the problem. Oh, there we go. Dread joined the league 7th of November 2018.
Thank you, sir. Good.
That's before me and Sean became the Furies.
Yeah, that was when we just played in it.
Yeah.
Minus Scrubs.
Back in the day. But yeah, so we do intend to run a league for Alvo as well. Providing it's ready for it. It may not be ready at launch for it. There's a couple of things obviously that need to be put in place for league play. But the developer team are very open. Obviously, it's no secret that me and Sean are on the moderation team for it. But the developers are very open to ideas.
We've not forgotten you, Karen. We'll get you in a minute.
What's happening with Karen?
I don't have to acknowledge shit because That's what happened there. It's not on my channel, so I don't have to.
I didn't even see that. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, Venny won't. So yeah, carry on. So we are the moderators of Alvo. Really good things happening on that front. Currently in the phase 1 beta test. It's going really well. Really happy with it. Hopefully, going to get the EU keys very soon, and then we can start moving on and rolling the ball a little bit more. But still, just a patience game at the moment. But it is good. Choco's helping. Pestering, helping around, however you want to label it with us. It's been a good help actually in the process of doing it. But the devs are so open. You know, if anyone's had experience with the Firewall devs, you know that I know it's slightly different. The game's released and people just troll. I know you do get that factor, but the Firewall devs are very cut and dry. But certainly in the development of Alvo, they just want to talk to everyone. They want everyone's opinion.
Yeah. It can be a blessing and a curse, but yeah, I think providing the community treat that kind of openness in the right way.
So I was actually thinking about that this week in our AHC selfish way about the spectator mode. One of the things that I got to drop in there was we obviously want the spectator mode to happen. Like that's best case scenario for us and not have to necessarily rely on people streaming. But then I was thinking to myself, a drone flying around could be somewhat distracting and maybe make people. So we'd have to do that, but it has to be invisible or something.
Yeah, well, Rainbow Six Siege does a nice approach. They basically, so you have the perspective of the players and they can jump between each player. It's baked into the game.
Yeah.
And then they have like a top-down view that takes a roof off of every building and highlights both teams a different color.
Yeah.
And they can almost like American sports, NFL, NHL, they love their fucking whiteboards with the little marker pens and all that kind of stuff. They love analysis, don't they? They can analyze anything. And they do a bit of that, and they can highlight players, draw arrows on the game for the movement and stuff. CS:GO does it, yes, Choco. CS:GO does that. So even when you're not playing esports on Counter-Strike, you could get the map up and you can draw like a line up with your mouse to demonstrate
that would be amazing.
And stuff. Little things like that. So it's totally outside of the player's perspective within the game. It's purely a spectator thing, and I think that would be good.
Yeah. Obviously, we had that drone, and that drone mode that I showed you and mentioned to you about that. The players that can't see that is completely invisible. So something like that could work really well, but it is quite labor intensive. You physically have to maneuver it, fly around the map. So for actually trying to cast on it as well as do it.
This is actually something that we had discussed as well. Is now like if I'm doing production or if Paco's doing production, I'm a cameraman, or Wolf is a cameraman, or somebody is now a cameraman. So now, rather than one person being able to do production, now it's going to require us to do two in order for us to do it, in the best way that we can. So not that we're totally opposed to that, but it could.
But this is the thing.
It requires another body on our end. For each stream, like now, as it currently stands, as long as the teams are streaming, I can solo an entire stream. Wolf can
you can get around that by having preset camera positions as spectator mode. That what's important though is you would get the silhouette of a player who's on the other side of the building on that camera view, that kind of thing. Onward again. I don't know if you've watched on, but I know Wolf watches the VR Master League stuff. They do it. They have cameras that just fly around and stuff, but they have preset positions as well. That would take some of that work away. It's hard to follow what's going on, but it's handy. Like I wouldn't have a whole game like that, but it's interesting to get like a lay of the land of who's where at a certain point, and then go back to POV again.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the future that we have as the Pro League side. Just for, I'm not even going to read that one out.
I can answer that because we're in a quarantine, sort of, and I just haven't got to go get my haircut.
Mine.
Yeah, I'm
glad it is overdue. I gotta go do it.
That's the frustrating bit. We went into lockdown quite early on in a week. My hairdresser's closed on or the one I go to is closed on a Sunday and a Monday. So the only time I had to go was the Monday. I was like, bugger. Ran everywhere. Everywhere's fully booked. It's that horrible problem. As soon as someone goes lockdown, why the fuck does every hairdresser get fully booked? Just
because
More
everybody's
importantly,
looking beforehand.
we sat here. What time are we on now? We sat here about an hour, 2 hours ago, and said, "Oh, we'll do a 10-minute video. We'll do a 10-minute stream.
We did.
Talk about scores." And now we're talking about hairdressers closed in lockdown.
I know, it's crazy. We got Choco.
I just want to know,
Choco brings
knowing what I know from doing streams and the stuff. When you guys said, a 10-minute stream talking about the rosters and stuff like that, I got off the phone. I was just like, it's gonna be 10 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't go that way, does it? It really
No.
doesn't. But
No, I can guarantee you.
yeah,
But it's nice for us to even just sit and talk about it as well.
This is why we wanted to do it. We need time as, getting back to serious stuff. We need time as an admin group to get together, chat about the league, go through, look at different things, look at the rosters. We do this anyway. So to actually incorporate that into a live stream makes absolutely no difference to us. We analyse the data off stream, so if we do it with you guys watching, it makes no difference to us whatsoever. You just get to see it a little bit more, talk to us, engage with it a little bit.
So in my stream, if you're not currently following Pro League Gaming, be sure to do that if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. Because I don't know if I'll be streaming this stuff again on AHC, but just mainly just for the notification purposes to get people in and aware of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then over on Pro League, shameless plug, if you're not currently following amateur hour commentary, you should really question what it is that you're doing with your life at this point.
Yeah, I think I've said that before.
That's straight. And you've obviously got a match coming up in an hour's time that you're covering, all being well. So make sure you tune in to Amateur Hour to do that one. It will be re-streamed onto our Twitch or hosted on our channel.
Yeah, it'll be hosted on ours, won't it? Yeah.
It will be hosted on ours, but obviously nip over to there. They'll see all the chat and get everything from that point of view. Who have you got casting tonight?
That's a good question. I think it's going to be Wolf. Maybe me. I don't know what's going on. I'm supposed to be playing. I don't know.
But you don't know yet, yeah.
Let's see what happens. I presume Timber, possibly, if he's around.
Timber.
Brilliant addition. Brilliant addition
to your
team.
Yeah, no, Timber's great. But I think he was busy today. I think it was, maybe Raptors around. To be honest, I have no idea. Paco's gone. I know that.
Yeah, at the end of the day, Wolf can handle it. He's a talented man. He'll manage.
Yeah, I think Paco doesn't come back until the 28th of November is when he's set up again. So another week and a half until we get Paco back, and then I can hand him the reins and I don't have to do production. But I'll still be working on the sets and stuff like that.
Can I just say, Vanny, you need to get a proper gaming chair because you're the odd one out. Even Wolf's chair.
I don't even have a chair. I'm sitting on a stool. I think that's gonna. Yeah, that's
it's actually a upside down green 5-gallon pail. That's why it doesn't show up on camera.
Yeah, because my lighting was wrong, so I had to change it to the side of the table. Then I got wrong for moving the table around too much because making too much noise. So that's good. And then when I went for a piss just earlier on, I didn't turn the light on because I was being considerate to not wake anyone up, and I knocked a picture frame off the stairs. The dog went wild. The kids woke up. So. It's going well.
Good books. Good books.
Amazing. I love it.
Couldn't have done any more wrong. It's funny you mentioned Raptor. Sorry, I've never seen Raptor before. But when I played the Ghost game...
Seen Raptor?
I've never seen him, but when I played the Ghost game with Wolf the other day, it doesn't have character height. Like, you can't set your height in game. But if you crouch in real life, you crouch in game. So Raptor joined us, and he's about fucking 8 foot. And I didn't realise this. Have you seen how tall Raptor is? So he was the whole time we were playing, his character's like on his tiptoes, like going along, just looked ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Like he stood in front of me at one point and I was literally looking like his belt of his character. It's weird.
Yeah, he's a taller dude for sure. Yeah, no, it doesn't look like it. Like when you look at, when you see us on stream and stuff like that, like I mean, would you guess that Wolf's like 5'4"?
Is he? It's just like a
That's
thing.
a joke. That's a joke.
He's short. No, he's only like he's like 5'6" or something like that. 5'6", 5'7" maybe. Like I'm 5'7", 5'8", but yeah, like Wolf. Like when you first look at him, and especially when you like I bring out the picture of like his guns. You know the picture I'm talking about.
Oh, everyone
one
knows
that's, like,
talk about it. Yeah.
I've destroyed it on stream. I don't know how many times, but yeah, you wouldn't picture him to be on the shorter side.
No.
Sure, he will.
Right, let's finish off there.
Yeah, so we're gonna wrap up.
Gonna wrap up.
Wolf's the shorty, but I'm taller lying down.
With some sexy pajama bottoms on.
So yeah, before we do go, has anyone got any questions you want to add or things they want us to talk about next time we do it? Other than Choco's Firewall facts, I don't know what's going on here.
We don't need Choco's facts.
Yeah,
that's
I mean that's kind of how colours work. What you're saying. Yeah. I mean,
that's how you mix colors.
But no, if anybody does anything, obviously we in the Discord, in the Pro League Discord, we do have the questions for admin. Just drop us a message in there if you have anything. We will be back again next week. We'll try and be a little bit earlier if we can. Now we've got the format down here. If Titch can join us again, it would be brilliant. Obviously, because it is covering from the NA side, which you spend a lot of time involved in doing that as well. So if you can be, it's great to have you. It always is.
Yeah, thank you. And what we can also do is if anyone wants to join, doesn't want to get on camera, we can just feed in the chat through Skype or Discord and get someone chatting if anyone wants to say anything.
Yeah, we can have a guest speaker on if anyone wants to join in. We can set that up for next time. That's not an issue. We can get some banter going through.
Quick question.
Go for it.
What kind of hardware store do you guys have? Like, you know, when we're like for us, it'd be like Lowe's or Home Depot. You go down there and you get like a gallon of paint or whatever. And they mix it and they put the colors in.
B&Q.
B&Q?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. So I just picture like Choco being at the B&Q, and then somebody pulls out one of those like color strips, and he's like, "I know how to make that color." That's like that was literally through my head.
Is that what's just gone through your head?
That like when you were like, "That's how Journey colors work," and that's literally what happened. Like Choco said, he's like, "I know how to make that color. If you mix 2 drops of red and 2 drops of."
Got some Lego I can bring out if.
And on that bombshell, everyone, thank you very much. Good night, and we'll see you next week.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning in, guys.